Okay, factoring basic level is A. You have to factor x squared plus 5x minus 24. Well, you set up your brackets. What will give you x squared? X and x. What will give you 24 so that your outside and inside make 5? 8 and 3. Let's check if that works. And you would like your inside 8 to be positive, your outside 3 to be negative. That makes our outside and inside come to be positive 5x. Do the last terms still multiply to give us negative 24? Yes. Do the first ones still multiply to give us x squared? Yes. So after you factor, do a quick check to see if it works. In B, there is a long way and a short way. We're going to look at the short way. So the long way in B is you multiply everything out, you combine all the like terms, rearrange it, and then try to factor. Okay? But we're going to notice that if I picked a letter other than x, what letter do you want to use? Q.
Z.
Okay, someone pick Q first. Got to be quick. Q for quick. If we make Q equal to x minus 6, how does that change this question? Instead of 2x minus 6 squared, I would have 2q squared. Instead of 10x minus 6, I would have 10q, and well, I'd still have minus 48. And we changed something that looked complicated to factor into something that we're more used to factoring. Because if I wanted to factor 2q squared plus 10q minus 48, first of all, I would notice there's a common factor of 2. Factor out that 2 first. Be left with q squared plus 5q minus 24. And then that 2 would still be out in front. Could you factor this? Well, what times what is q squared? Q times q. And this looks awfully similar to what we did just in the question above, right? 24 to get 5 is going to be 8 and 3. 8 is going to be positive. 3 is going to be negative. But we remember that we made q equal to x minus 6. So as a result, we can now substitute back. Instead of q plus 8, I can substitute the x minus 6 back in plus 8. And here I can substitute the x minus 6 back in minus 3. If we combine our like terms, this one becomes x plus 2. That one becomes x minus 9. How do we know when to do this strategy of substitution? Okay. First, if you notice the same thing in more than one place. So I have the x minus 6 there and the x minus 6 there. That's one hint that maybe I should use substitution. You can see in the next one that that same thing happens again. We have a 2x plus 5 in one place, a 2x plus 5 in the other place. If you apply the substitution, which we just did, does it appear to be something that you factored before? 2q squared plus 10q minus 48 is a trinomial. We factored trinomials before, so that appears that the substitution was a good idea. Do you want to see the other way that you would have to do it? No? You just like this shortcut is good? All right. For the last one, what letter do you want to use this time? W. So you let W equal 2x plus 5. Then we can rewrite this, and this becomes 3W squared plus 10W minus 8. It makes a trinomial, which we factored before. Note there are no common factors this time. So when we go to factor this one, it's actually not a bad one to factor because the only way to get 3W squared is 3W and W. And now we're going to have to see if there's things that we can put that multiply to 8 where our outside and inside make 10. 2 and 8 doesn't make 8. That makes 16. Close. But you could do 1 and 8. Do you want to try 1 and 8? No? Okay. Because it's either 1 and 8 or 2 and 4, or 8 and 1 or 4 and 2. You want to try 2 and 4? If we try 2 and 4, can you see my outside is 12? 3 times 4? 12. Inside is 2. Does 12 and 2 ever make 10? Yes. We would need to get a plus 10. I would need a plus 12, and I'd have to subtract 2. Quick check. If you multiply that all out, does it give me 3W squared plus 10W minus 8? If it does, we know that we're right. And now finally, we can substitute back in. If I substitute back in, I will get 3 times a 2x plus 5 minus 2, and then 2x plus 5 plus 4. When you substitute something in, it's important that you add it in brackets, especially in the first case here because it was 3 times w, and so now 3, it was here, and now we're substituting from here to here. Right here it's just a w. Does that make sense? So this is what, we had 3w squared, then we factored it to get the second line right here. Is that okay, the factoring part? No? Okay, I'll come help you. We'll finish this one off. And then finally here, simplify in this first set of brackets. 3 times 2x will be 6x. 3 times 5 is 15 minus 2 plus 13. Second one, 2x, 5 plus 4 plus 9. All right, we'll do some to practice. Questions 15 and 16.